Hi, I'm Mitch Flaman from Flaman Grain Clean and Handling. Today I'm going to show you how to change the screens on your Kwik Kleen machine. When removing the screens, the first thing you're going to want to do is take off this 4-inch screening auger to allow you some more room in there. To take off this auger, you're going to first pull this cotter pin, and then you're going to want to hit this pin out. You're going to need a hammer and some sort of chisel or pin to hit it out with. Now it usually works best if you have some sort of partner or something to help you with. You can do it yourself. If you are doing it yourself, make sure you leave this pin in till the end, because once you pull this pin out, the auger is now free to come out. Once you've removed the 4-inch screening auger, you're going to want to take off this hopper to also allow you more room when taking off the bolts in this front plate. To get this hopper off, there's 2 bolts, one here and one here. It's going to lift up and slide out. Once the bolts are out of the hopper, you simply lift the front end up and take it out. It works better if you have a partner, but you can do it yourself if you have to. Once you've removed the auger and the hopper, you can see it's a lot more accessible to get at all these nuts and bolts down here that are holding on the plates for the augers. You're going to want to put the Kwik Kleen at a desirable working level. What I use is a step stool that keeps the front end where I want it, as well as a jack stand in the back that keeps it from teeter-tottering. Once it's level, you're ready to go. The first thing we're going to do is loosen up all the bolts that are keeping these collars tight. These collars keep the tubes on the Kwik Kleen from spinning when in operation. You're going to also notice that there is no tube on this auger right here. That is because we were using this Kwik Kleen for demo purposes. When loosening up the bolts on these collars, you do not have to loosen them up so that the bolts come out. Rather, just loosen them up as much as you can while keeping the nuts on. Once you have the collars loosened, notice how all the screens move freely inside the Kwik Kleen. The next step is to take off all the plates and all the collars that are holding all these augers in place. The nice thing about this is all you need is a 1/2-inch wrench and a 1/2-inch socket. I chose to use an impact because it's a little bit quicker. And all of the bolts are 5/16 bolts. So once you've removed all these front plates and collars off of the front of this, you can see the auger is easily accessible and you're ready to remove the tube. Removing the tubes can be difficult sometimes if they're out of shape. These ones are new, so they're in good shape. But since this collar is loosened up, you simply just slide the tubes right out the front. Once you're ready to put your new tubes back in, essentially you do the exact same thing, just in the opposite order that you did to take them out. Make sure that they fit in the collar at the end. Now the most important thing to note when you're putting the tubes in is to make sure that this seam is at the top. These augers spin counterclockwise to push the grain to the end, so you're going to want to make sure that the roll inside goes in favor with the way the auger spins. That means that this lip on the top faces to the right. So once you have all the tubes in place and you've double checked to make sure that all the lips are on the top and the inside lip is going in favor with the inside auger, you're going to want to tighten these collars. You don't have to tighten them too tight, just make sure they're tight enough that the tube isn't spinning within the collar. After you've double checked to make sure the collars are tight enough that these tubes won't move, it's now time to put the plates and collars on the front of the cleaner. So once you've installed all these plates on correctly, making sure the carriage bolts are where the collars were, and the other bolts with the lock nuts on go in the corners, you're now ready to put the hopper back on and the screening auger back on. Again, it's easier if you have someone else to do this with you, but it is possible to do by yourself. Once you have your hopper tightened up, it's time to put your auger back on. Start with placing this pin in the hole first, and worrying about the pin in the back at the end. Once you put the final pin in the screens auger, that should be the last step you have to take when changing the screens on your Kwik Kleen. For further questions and more videos, please visit our website at www.flamangraincleaning.com.